Welcome, dear friends, to a peaceful journey through the world of Spider-Man, that beloved hero who swings through the skies of New York, balancing the weight of responsibility with the warmth of his heart. From his first appearance in the pages of Amazing Fantasy Serenity 15 to his rise as a symbol of hope for many, Spider-Man has captured the imagination of generations. Tonight, we'll explore the fascinating facts about this iconic character, from his earliest adventures to the many ways he has evolved in comics, movies, and beyond. With each fact, you'll drift deeper into the story of a young man who learned the true meaning of power and responsibility, all while navigating the ups and downs of life. As we begin this journey, let your body relax and your breath deepen. Feel the soft rhythm of your breath guiding you into a peaceful calm, a quiet space where time slows and the world fades into the background. Allow any tension to melt away, releasing it into the stillness of the night. And if you find comfort in stories like these, you're always welcome to subscribe and gently tell me where you're listening from tonight. It's always a joy to know where our stories travel. Now let's begin our journey through the webbed wonders of Spider-Man's universe. Breathe deeply, settle in, and let the world of Spider-Man unfold before you. Fact 1. Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962, created by writer Stan Lee and artist Steve Ditko. The character, Peter Parker, was a shy, awkward teenager living in New York City. His origin story, which involves being bitten by a radioactive spider, made him unique among superheroes, as he was one of the first to deal with everyday teenage problems alongside his crime-fighting responsibilities. This mixture of relatability and heroism instantly resonated with readers and set the stage for a lasting legacy. Fact 2. Peter Parker's full name is Peter Benjamin Parker. He was raised by his Aunt May and Uncle Ben after the tragic death of his parents in a plane crash. Despite being a brilliant student, Peter often felt like an outsider, especially with his financial struggles and lack of popularity in high school. His early experiences of loss and feeling disconnected from others shaped his empathy, which would later influence his heroic actions. The lesson that, with great power comes great responsibility, was taught to him by Uncle Ben's death, a pivotal moment in his life. Fact 3. Spider-Man's signature red and blue suit was designed by artist Steve Ditko, who took inspiration from various sources. The design features a webbed pattern across the suit, which was a unique and visually striking element at the time. Additionally, the suit incorporates a spider symbol on the chest and back, making it easily recognizable. The web shooters, which Peter created himself, allowed him to swing from buildings, making his movements fluid and acrobatic. The suit itself became an iconic symbol of both Spider-Man's persona and his incredible abilities. Fact 4. Peter Parker was not the first to adopt the Spider-Man persona. Before him, the original idea of a Spider-Man character had been conceived by Stan Lee. However, the initial design for the character did not stick. It was Ditko's creative vision that led to the creation of the Spider-Man we know today. This iteration, combining Peter's relatability with the idea of a youthful superhero facing both internal and external challenges, made Spider-Man stand out as one of the most beloved and enduring superheroes in comic book history. Fact 5. One of Spider-Man's most famous allies is Mary Jane Watson, a fiery redhead who becomes Peter Parker's love interest. Their relationship, full of highs and lows, has been one of the most iconic romances in comic book history. Mary Jane, often depicted as a strong, independent woman, played a key role in Peter's emotional life. Her catchphrase, "Face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot," marks one of the most memorable moments of their first meeting in The Amazing Spider Man 42. Their relationship evolved over time, with Mary Jane becoming a central figure in Peter's personal life. Fact 6: Spider Man's iconic web swinging abilities are powered by his web shooters, devices that Peter Parker designed himself. These web shooters shoot a special webbing that Peter invented, which allows him to swing from building to building, create protective webs, and even use the webbing as a weapon. The web shooters are one of the most iconic gadgets in comic book history and showcase Peter's intelligence as he used his scientific skills to create tools that enhanced his abilities as a superhero. The webbing itself is incredibly strong, able to withstand immense forces and restrain villains with ease. Fact 7: Spider Man's most famous villain is the Green Goblin, whose real identity is Norman Osborn, a wealthy businessman and the father of Peter's best friend, Harry Osborn. Norman Osborn becomes the Green Goblin after a failed experiment enhances his physical abilities, but also causes severe mental instability. The Green Goblin's first appearance in The Amazing Spider Man 14 remains one of the most iconic comic book moments, as he became a major antagonist in Spider Man's early years. His rivalry with Peter is deeply personal, making him one of the most dangerous and tragic villains in Spider Man's rogues gallery. Fact 8: Spider Man's early adventures introduced readers to a wide range of colorful characters, each with unique abilities and motivations. Some of his most famous early enemies include Dr. Octopus, Vulture, and Sandman. These villains were often reflective of Peter's own struggles. For example, Dr. Octopus, a brilliant scientist, represents Peter's fear of losing control over his intellect, while Sandman, a criminal turned supervillain, mirrors Peter's own battle with balancing power and responsibility. The diverse range of adversaries helped establish Spider Man as a hero whose challenges were never just physical, but emotional and intellectual as well. Fact 9: The concept of Spider-Verse, where multiple versions of Spider-Man exist across alternate universes, was introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man circa 1000, published in 2014. This story expanded the Spider-Man mythos to include other versions of Spider-Man, such as Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2099. The idea of a multiverse filled with various spider people was later explored in the animated film Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse in 2018. This concept brought new life to the franchise, offering fans a diverse and exciting look at different iterations of their favorite hero. Fact 10: Miles Morales, a teenager from an alternate universe, was introduced as a new version of Spider Man in Ultimate Fallout 36 in 2011. Miles' origin story closely mirrors Peter Parker's, but with his own twists. After the death of Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe, Miles gains powers from a genetically altered spider, making him the new Spider Man. Miles has since become a fan favorite character, known for his unique abilities, including invisibility and the power of a venom strike. His introduction marked a significant moment in the Spider Man legacy, showcasing diversity and the expansion of the Spider-Verse. Fact 11: Spider Man's webbing is more than just a tool for swinging between buildings. Peter Parker designed his webs to serve multiple purposes, from creating shields and traps to binding enemies. The webbing is extremely strong, capable of holding up even the heaviest opponents. Interestingly, the webbing is also biodegradable, meaning it will dissolve after a short time, preventing environmental damage. This attention to detail showcases Peter's deep understanding of both science and responsibility, ensuring that his webbing wouldn't harm others or the environment while he fought to protect it. Fact 12: Spider Man's first solo series, The Amazing Spider Man, was launched in 1963, following his initial appearance in Amazing Fantasy Circa 15. The first issue introduced several key elements of Spider Man's mythos, including his alter ego, Peter Parker, and his unique powers. In the first issue, Peter faces off against the villainous Chameleon, a shape shifting criminal. This issue laid the foundation for many of the storylines and character dynamics that would continue to evolve throughout Spider Man's history. The comic was an instant success, securing Spider Man's place as a prominent superhero in Marvel's lineup. Fact 13: Spider Man's spider sense is one of his most iconic abilities. This heightened, nearly psychic sense alerts Peter to danger, allowing him to react instinctively before harm befalls him. The spider sense is triggered by any immediate threat, ranging from physical attacks to environmental hazards. However, it's not always precise. Sometimes, the spider sense becomes overwhelmed in chaotic situations. While incredibly useful, it also serves as a reminder to Peter that even with extraordinary abilities, he must remain vigilant and aware of his surroundings. The sense adds to Spider Man's vulnerability, making him relatable despite his immense powers. Fact 14: The web shooters Spider Man uses were designed and built by Peter Parker himself, showcasing his brilliant intellect. Unlike other superheroes who rely on external powers, Spider Man's web shooters are a testament to Peter's scientific genius. The devices shoot a special webbing that can be adjusted for different situations, whether it's for web slinging, creating shields, or trapping enemies. The web shooters are powered by small canisters of web fluid that Peter constantly replenishes. His ability to invent and modify these gadgets highlights his resourcefulness, a key aspect of his character that distinguishes him from many other superheroes. Fact 15: In The Amazing Spider Man That Justice 15, Spider Man first faces off against one of his most enduring villains, the Vulture. Created by writer Stan Lee and artist Steve Ditko, the Vulture was one of Spider Man's first airborne adversaries, equipped with mechanical wings that allowed him to fly. Vulture's real identity is Adrian Toombs, a brilliant engineer who turns to a life of crime after being wronged by a company he once worked for. The Vulture's introduction was a major moment in Spider Man's early career, solidifying him as a hero who faced off against a variety of unique, dangerous threats. To fact 16: The concept of the Spider-Verse expanded dramatically in 2014 when the event Spider-Verse was introduced in Marvel Comics. The storyline explored a multiverse of spider people from alternate dimensions, including characters like Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man 2099, and the Japanese Spider-Man. This event reshaped the Spider-Man mythos by introducing fans to countless variations of their favorite hero, each with unique personalities, powers, and origins. The Spider-Verse storyline was so successful that it inspired the animated film Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse, which earned widespread acclaim for its innovative animation and fresh take on the iconic character. Fact 17: The first appearance of Spider Man's most notorious adversary, Venom, occurred in The Amazing Spider Man, 300 in 1988. Venom, whose real identity is Eddie Brock, was once a journalist who shared a deep hatred for Spider Man after being fired for a story about the web slinger. Venom is unique in that he is a symbiote, an alien organism that bonds with a human host, amplifying their physical abilities. The combination of Eddie Brock's rage and the symbiote's power makes Venom one of Spider Man's most dangerous foes. Over time, Venom has also become an anti hero, further complicating Spider Man's moral challenges. Fact 18: Spider Man's alter ego, Peter Parker, has had a complicated relationship with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Peter's parents, Richard and Mary Parker, were secret agents who died under mysterious circumstances when Peter was very young. As a result, Peter was raised by his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, who provided him with love and stability. After Uncle Ben's tragic death, Peter became even more determined to use his powers for good, remembering his uncle's words. With great power comes great responsibility. This lesson has shaped Peter's every decision, making him one of the most grounded superheroes in Marvel's pantheon. Fact 19: In 1992, Spider Man was given a new, more modern costume known as the Black Suit in The Amazing Spider Man, Twix 252. This black suit, which was actually a symbiote, later becoming Venom, initially appeared as a replacement for his red and blue costume after his original suit was damaged. The black suit was not only visually striking, but also enhanced Spider Man's physical abilities, giving him increased strength and agility. The suit's influence on Peter's personality, making him more aggressive and reckless, led to its eventual rejection, marking the beginning of the Venom saga. Fact 20: Spider Man's greatest love interest, Gwen Stacy, first appeared in The Amazing Spider Man The Murder 31 in 1965. Gwen, a smart and independent woman, quickly became an integral part of Peter Parker's life. However, her tragic death at the hands of the Green Goblin in The Amazing Spider Man The 121 remains one of the most heartbreaking moments in comic book history. Gwen's death profoundly affected Peter, shaping his future decisions and solidifying his commitment to never again let his loved ones suffer because of his secret identity. Gwen's legacy remains a significant part of Spider Man's story, influencing his relationships with others. Fact 21: Spider Man has had several different versions of his iconic suit over the years, but none is as memorable as the Iron Spider suit introduced in The Amazing Spider Man 529. Created by Tony Stark, this suit was equipped with additional mechanical spider legs, an advanced AI system, and enhanced durability. The Iron Spider suit marked a significant evolution in Spider Man's technology and his relationships with Tony Stark, symbolizing the beginning of Peter's inclusion in the larger Marvel universe. The suit's sleek, metallic design set it apart from Spider Man's classic look, making it a fan favorite. Fact 22: Peter Parker is not the only Spider Man in the multiverse. Over the years, numerous alternate versions of the hero have appeared across various dimensions. Some notable examples include Spider Man 2099, who hails from a dystopian future, and Spider-Gwen, a version of Gwen Stacy who becomes Spider-Woman in an alternate universe. These characters have expanded the idea of Spider-Man, showing how the mantle of the web slinger can be passed to different people in different worlds. The diversity within the Spider-Verse has made Spider-Man a symbol of hope for countless people across the multiverse. Fact 23. The first appearance of Spider Man's iconic villain, the Lizard, occurred in The Amazing Spider Man number 6 in 1963. Dr. Kurt Connors, a scientist and friend of Peter's, transforms into the Lizard after a failed experiment to regenerate his missing arm. The Lizard is a tragic character, as Connor's transformation into the monstrous creature is an uncontrollable result of his own desperate need to heal. The relationship between Spider Man and the Lizard is complex, as Peter struggles to reconcile his friendship with Connors and his duty as a superhero to stop the destructive creature. Fact 24. In 1990, Spider Man faced off against the villainous Kingpin in the iconic Spider Man, the animated series. Kingpin, whose real name is Wilson Fisk, is a powerful crime lord who rules over New York City's underground. Kingpin's massive size and intellect make him a formidable foe for Spider Man. He is often portrayed as a strategic mastermind who can manipulate events from the shadows, making him one of the most dangerous enemies Spider Man has ever faced. Their rivalry highlights Spider Man's constant struggle to protect New York from both physical and criminal threats. Fact 25. Spider Man's powers were first activated after Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. The bite granted him enhanced strength, agility, and the ability to cling to walls. However, it also gave him a spider sense, a heightened awareness of danger, which helps him react quickly to threats. These abilities, combined with his natural intelligence, made Peter Parker one of the most capable and resourceful superheroes. His enhanced reflexes and strength allowed him to fight crime in ways that were uniquely suited to his acrobatic, web-slinging style, setting him apart from many other heroes. Fact 26. One of Spider-Man's most emotionally charged storylines is the night Gwen Stacy died in The Amazing Spider-Man number 221. This tragic event marked a pivotal moment in Spider-Man's life and comic book history. Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's love interest, was killed during a battle between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The death of Gwen had a profound effect on Peter, driving home the painful reality that his dual identity as Spider-Man put his loved ones in constant danger. It remains one of the darkest and most defining moments in Spider-Man's journey. Fact 27. In addition to his web shooters, Spider-Man also has an impressive array of gadgets and tools at his disposal. One of the most iconic is the spider tracers, small devices that emit a distinctive sound that only Peter can hear through his spider sense. These tracers allow Spider-Man to track people and objects, making it easier for him to follow his enemies. The tracers have appeared in both the comics and films, showing how Peter's resourcefulness and scientific ingenuity help him solve problems even when his physical abilities aren't enough. Fact 28. Spider-Man has appeared in numerous animated television series, but one of the most beloved is Spider-Man, the animated series, which aired from 1994 to 1998. The series brought Spider-Man's world to life with vivid animation, an engaging storyline, and iconic voice acting from Christopher Daniel Barnes. The show introduced many classic Spider-Man villains and explored themes of responsibility, identity, and sacrifice. Spider-Man. The animated series is often credited with helping to bring the character into the mainstream and making him a household name in the 1990s. Fact 29. In the early 2000s, Spider-Man's popularity reached new heights with the release of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2002, starring Tobey Maguire. This film marked the character's live-action debut, showcasing Peter Parker's origin story and his transformation into Spider Man. The movie was a major success, grossing over 800 million worldwide, and became a milestone in superhero cinema. The success of Spider Man helped pave the way for other superhero films, establishing the genre as a dominant force in Hollywood. Tobey Maguire's portrayal of Peter Parker remains iconic for many fans to this day. Fact 30. Spider Man has been a part of the Marvel Universe for over half a century, and during that time, he has interacted with countless other superheroes. Some of the most notable team ups include his time with the Avengers, where Spider Man worked alongside heroes like Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. These collaborations helped Spider Man grow as a hero and further solidified his place in the larger Marvel Universe. His interactions with other heroes have added depth to his character, showing his ability to balance his personal life with his responsibilities as a member of these powerful teams. Fact 31. One of Spider Man's most defining traits is his wit and humor, which he uses to cope with difficult situations. Whether it's cracking jokes during a battle or making sarcastic remarks to his enemies, Spider Man's humor is an essential part of his character. His quick wit helps him manage the stress and pressure that come with being a superhero, allowing him to remain focused even in the face of danger. This playful side of Spider Man also makes him relatable, as he balances his responsibilities with moments of levity and fun. Fact 32. In 1999, Spider Man underwent a major change in the storyline The Clone Saga. This arc introduced the character Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker who briefly became the new Spider Man. Ben Reilly was created by the villain Jackal and had all of Peter's memories and abilities. The storyline, which spanned several years, created confusions among readers and was a turning point in Spider Man's comic book history. Ben's tragic death in the Scarlet Spider series left a lasting impact on Peter, showing the complex nature of identity and what it means to truly be Spider Man. Fact 33. Spider Man's relationship with Aunt May is one of the most enduring and heartfelt aspects of his story. Although Aunt May was initially unaware of Peter's secret identity, she became a crucial support system for him. Her unconditional love and belief in Peter's good heart helped him stay grounded, especially during times of great personal loss. Aunt May's own resilience in the face of tragedy, especially after the death of Uncle Ben, taught Peter valuable lessons about perseverance and caring for others, making her one of the most important figures in Peter's life. Fact 34. Spider Man has often been depicted as one of the most relatable superheroes because of his struggles with everyday problems. Unlike many heroes who have godlike powers or wealth, Peter Parker is an ordinary young man dealing with financial struggles, relationship issues, and balancing school with his superhero duties. This down to earth portrayal made Spider Man an icon for readers who saw their own lives reflected in his. The idea that anyone could be a hero, no matter their circumstances, resonated deeply with fans and helped make Spider Man one of the most beloved characters in comic book history. Fact 35. One of Spider Man's most famous and iconic abilities is his wall crawling power. This ability allows him to cling to walls and ceilings, giving him unparalleled mobility and the advantage of surprise. The power is a result of the spider bite that Peter received, and it enhances his agility and flexibility, allowing him to move swiftly through the urban landscape of New York City. Wall crawling became one of Spider Man's signature traits, setting him apart from other superheroes and adding a unique visual element to his dynamic battles and web slinging escapades. Fact 36. In 2011, Spider Man was reintroduced in the Ultimate Universe with a new character, Miles Morales. Miles is a teenager who gains spider like powers after being bitten by a genetically altered spider. His story has a significant impact on the legacy of Spider Man, as Miles is part of a more diverse, modern representation of the hero. Miles's introduction also came at a time when there was a push for greater inclusivity in superhero comics, making him a symbol of change and growth within the Spider Man mythos. His success led to the character's appearance in multiple media, including the animated film Spider Man Into the Spider Verse. Fact 37. Spider Man has been a member of several superhero teams over the years, but one of the most significant was his time as a member of the Avengers. Initially hesitant to join the team, Peter eventually became a key player in many of the Avengers' missions. His involvement with the team allowed him to work alongside some of the greatest heroes in the Marvel Universe, including Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. Through these experiences, Spider Man grew both as a hero and as a person, gaining a deeper understanding of teamwork, sacrifice, and responsibility. Fact 38. One of Spider Man's most tragic moments came in the Civil War storyline, where he was forced to reveal his secret identity to the public. In an effort to support the Superhero Registration Act, Peter unmasked himself during a press conference, a decision that led to significant personal consequences. The revelation of his identity put his loved ones in danger, including Aunt May, who was shot as a result of the exposure. This moment marked a significant turning point for Peter, showing the cost of being a hero and the impact his decisions have on those he loves. Fact 39. Spider Man's Rogues Gallery is filled with iconic and memorable villains, but one of the most unique is the Chameleon, the first villain Spider Man ever faced. Introduced in The Amazing Spider Man number 1, the Chameleon has the ability to mimic anyone's appearance, making him one of Spider Man's most dangerous and elusive foes. His mastery of disguise allows him to infiltrate organizations and get close to his targets without being detected. The Chameleon's first appearance set the tone for Spider Man's early battles, showing that he would face foes with powers that challenged not only his physical strength, but his intellect as well. Fact 40. One of the key elements of Spider Man's character is his sense of responsibility. Peter Parker constantly struggles with the idea of balancing his personal life with his superhero duties. After the death of Uncle Ben, Peter made a solemn vow to use his powers for good, understanding that every action he takes has consequences. This sense of responsibility drives him to continue fighting crime, even when it seems impossible. Spider Man's motto, "With great power comes great responsibility," has become synonymous with the character and represents the core of his values as a hero. Fact 41. Spider Man's webbing is not just a tool for swinging through New York City, it's a highly versatile weapon. Peter Parker designed webbing that can adapt to various situations, from creating large nets to catch criminals to forming web shields for protection. The webbing can also be used to disarm enemies, restrain them, or even form web balls to knock them out. Peter's creativity with his webbing, along with his quick thinking, has allowed him to adapt to virtually any combat situation, proving that his intelligence is just as valuable as his physical abilities. Fact 42. The first time Spider Man appeared in a live action adaptation was in the 1970s. The Spider Man television series aired in 1977, starring Nicholas Hammond as Peter Parker. The show was a modest success, but it was ultimately limited by its budget and the technology available at the time. While the show didn't capture the full potential of Spider Man's dynamic, action packed abilities, it laid the groundwork for future live action adaptations and helped introduce the superhero to a broader audience. It also sparked interest in comic book adaptations, paving the way for future projects in the genre. Fact 43. One of Spider Man's most tragic and complex relationships is with his aunt, Aunt May. Over the years, Aunt May has become not only a caregiver to Peter, but also a key emotional support system. However, her character has also undergone significant changes. In the Ultimate Universe, Aunt May is portrayed as younger and more active, reflecting the more modern approach to Peter's personal life. Despite the differences in her portrayal across universes, Aunt May's role remains one of unwavering love and devotion, providing Peter with the grounding he needs to continue his life as Spider Man. Fact 44. In 2009, Spider Man underwent a major transformation in the storyline Brand New Day. After Peter Parker made a deal with Mephisto, the demon who controls time and space, Peter's life was altered dramatically. This story arc erased the marriage between Peter and Mary Jane Watson, a controversial change that fans had mixed feelings about. Despite the fallout, this storyline explored the idea of second chances and the consequences of tampering with fate. Brand New Day marked a significant shift in Spider Man's life, redefining his relationships and his journey as a superhero. Fact 45. Spider Man's most memorable cinematic moments often include his famous quips and humorous one liners during battle. His ability to crack jokes in the face of danger has become an integral part of his character. From the 2002 Spider Man film to the Spider Man Homecoming in 2017, Spider Man's humor has made him relatable and human, even when he's facing villains like Green Goblin or Vulture. His jokes serve as a coping mechanism, helping him deal with the overwhelming responsibility of being a superhero. This light-hearted approach to danger sets him apart from many other dark and brooding heroes. Fact 46. Spider Man's first major crossover event occurred in The Amazing Spider Man #1, when he fought alongside the Fantastic Four. This marked the beginning of Spider Man's interactions with other superheroes in the Marvel Universe. While Spider Man initially struggled to fit in with the more experienced team, his quick thinking and unique abilities soon earned him their respect. This crossover solidified Spider Man's place in the larger Marvel Universe, opening the door for him to collaborate with a wide range of heroes, including the X-Men, Daredevil, and later the Avengers. Fact 47. Spider-Man's suit is equipped with various high-tech features that enhance his abilities. Over the years, Peter has developed suits with added gadgets and enhancements, such as the Spider-Man 2099 suit, which featured advanced technology like holographic displays and enhanced strength. The Spider-Man films, including Spider-Man Far From Home, introduced a more tech-savvy approach to Spider-Man's suit, often incorporating tools designed by Tony Stark. These modifications helped Spider-Man keep up with some of the more powerful enemies he faces, but Peter still relies on his ingenuity and determination more than any high-tech gadgets. Fact 48. The character of Spider Man has been an influence on other media, from animated television shows to films. In 2018, Spider Man Into the Spider Verse was released, an animated film that explored the multiverse concept within the Spider Man universe. The film introduced audiences to Miles Morales, a new version of Spider Man, and won multiple awards, including the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. The film's groundbreaking animation style and innovative storytelling have set a new standard for superhero films and have helped push Spider Man's legacy into new creative directions, appealing to both old and new fans. Fact 49. Spider Man's most iconic catchphrase, "With great power comes great responsibility," was first spoken by Uncle Ben in Amazing Fantasy that aged 15, though it was later adopted as Spider Man's guiding principle. The phrase has since become synonymous with Spider Man, representing the core of Peter Parker's character. It speaks to the burden of power, the choices that must be made, and the commitment to protect others. This moral compass drives Peter's every action, ensuring that he never forgets the importance of using his abilities for good, no matter the personal sacrifices he must make. Fact 50. One of the most unique aspects of Spider Man is his agility. Peter Parker's spider like abilities give him a remarkable sense of flexibility and reflexes that allow him to perform acrobatic feats that no other superhero can replicate. His ability to flip, twist, and contort his body in midair is a key element of his fighting style, allowing him to dodge attacks and quickly respond to threats. This agility, combined with his wall crawling and web shooting abilities, makes Spider Man one of the most dynamic and visually captivating heroes in comic book history. Fact 51. One of Spider Man's most iconic storylines is the Clone Saga, which introduced a new character, Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker. This arc, which ran through multiple Spider Man titles in the 1990s, caused confusion and divided fans. The saga's plot twists, including the idea that Peter might not be the real Spider Man, challenged the character's identity. Despite its controversial reception, the Clone Saga introduced Miles Morales' future counterpart, highlighting the themes of identity, family, and the personal struggles inherent in wearing the Spider Man mantle. Fact 52. Spider Man's relationship with Mary Jane Watson has been a cornerstone of his personal life. Mary Jane was introduced in The Amazing Spider Man 42 and quickly became one of Peter's closest allies. Their relationship has had its ups and downs, but it has always been marked by a deep emotional connection. Mary Jane's bold personality and her ability to understand Peter's inner struggles made her an ideal match for Spider Man. Over the years, their bond has been tested by tragedy and sacrifice, but their love has remained one of the most enduring aspects of Peter's life. Fact 53. Peter Parker's Aunt May has always been an essential part of his life, but her role has evolved over the years. In early comics, Aunt May was portrayed as an elderly woman who often worried about Peter's health and safety. However, in more modern interpretations, she has been depicted as a more active and resilient character. In the Ultimate Spider Man series, Aunt May was shown as younger and more aware of Peter's dual identity. Regardless of her portrayal, Aunt May remains a symbol of unconditional love and support in Peter's life, helping to keep him grounded. Fact 54. One of Spider Man's most devastating losses occurred when his beloved Aunt May was shot by an assassin in The Amazing Spider Man 400. After Peter's unmasking in Civil War, Aunt May became a target for villains seeking to punish him. The shooting left her gravely injured and placed Peter in an incredibly emotional state, forcing him to confront the consequences of his secret identity. The trauma of nearly losing her became a turning point for Peter, pushing him to reassess the balance between his heroic life and his personal relationships. Fact 55. In the Spider-Verse event, Peter Parker is not the only Spider-Man. Over the years, multiple versions of the character have been introduced from alternate dimensions. One of the most famous is Spider-Man 2099, also known as Miguel O'Hara, who hails from a dystopian future where technology reigns supreme. Spider-Man 2099's suit is sleek and futuristic, with sharp, angular designs that set him apart from the traditional Spider-Man. This version of the hero added new layers to the Spider-Verse, showing that the mantle of Spider-Man can be worn by many across time and space. Fact 56. Spider-Man has often fought villains who represent aspects of himself, creating a unique dynamic between hero and foe. One such villain is Dr. Octopus, also known as Otto Octavius. Introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man #3, Dr. Octopus is a brilliant scientist who uses mechanical tentacles to fight Spider-Man. The two share a similar intellectual prowess, with both characters being highly intelligent. However, their motivations differ greatly, with Dr. Octopus seeking power and control, while Spider-Man uses his intellect to protect others. Their battles often blur the line between heroism and villainy, highlighting Peter's internal struggles. Fact 57. Spider-Man's webs, often regarded as his most iconic tool, are made from a special chemical formula that Peter created himself. The webbing, which can stretch, shrink, and break down after a few hours, was designed to be extremely versatile. It's used for everything from creating web lines for swinging to trapping enemies or forming shields. Over the years, Peter has perfected his web shooter design, adding various features like webbing with different strengths or special properties. The webs are a testament to Peter's creativity and intelligence, showcasing his ability to use science to enhance his superhero abilities. Fact 58. Peter Parker's job as a photographer at the Daily Bugle is one of the key elements that sets him apart from other superheroes. His job allows him to be constantly in the loop regarding the latest events in New York City, including news about his alter ego, Spider-Man. However, his relationship with J. Jonah Jameson, the Daily Bugle's fiery editor, is often strained. Jameson consistently blames Spider-Man for the city's troubles and publishes negative stories about him, creating a complicated dynamic. Despite the tension, Peter's work at the Bugle has been a central aspect of his dual life. Fact 59. In 2007, Spider-Man 3, directed by Sam Raimi, introduced the character of Venom to a wider audience. Played by Topher Grace, Venom was portrayed as a symbiote who bonded with Eddie Brock, a disgruntled journalist who harbored a deep hatred for Peter Parker. Venom's introduction in the film added a new layer of complexity to Spider-Man's story, pitting him against a villain who shared many of his abilities but was motivated by vengeance. Venom's power and relentless pursuit of Spider-Man made him one of the hero's most formidable and dangerous foes. Fact 60. Spider-Man's agility is one of his most defining physical traits. His enhanced reflexes and acrobatic skills allow him to dodge attacks and perform incredible stunts that seem impossible for a normal human. Whether he's flipping through the air, leaping between buildings, or evading enemy strikes, Spider Man's agility sets him apart from many other superheroes. This unique skill, paired with his wall crawling and web slinging abilities, makes Spider Man one of the most dynamic and unpredictable fighters in the Marvel Universe. His fluid and graceful movements have become a trademark of the character. Fact 61. Spider Man's agility isn't just about acrobatics, it's also a crucial part of his fighting style. His enhanced reflexes allow him to react almost instantaneously to incoming attacks, often avoiding blows that would seriously injure anyone else. Spider Man's movements are fluid and precise, making him an unpredictable and difficult target for his enemies. This agility, paired with his wall crawling ability, gives him an incredible advantage during combat, as he can quickly move to higher ground or position himself for an attack, all while maintaining the upper hand against his foes. Fact 62. One of Spider Man's most challenging enemies is the Green Goblin, also known as Norman Osborn. As one of Spider Man's most dangerous foes, the Green Goblin possesses incredible strength, intelligence, and an arsenal of high tech weapons. His first appearance in The Amazing Spider Man, the Featured 14, marked the beginning of one of the most personal rivalries in comic book history. Norman's personal connection to Peter, as the father of his best friend Harry, makes him a so deeply conflicted villain. Their battles are as much about psychology as they are about physical confrontation, highlighting the emotional stakes of their conflict. Fact 63. Spider Man has always been a superhero that embodies resilience and perseverance. Despite his many personal losses, including the deaths of Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, and even his brief separation from Mary Jane, Peter Parker never gives up on his responsibility as Spider Man. His determination to keep fighting for what's right, even when everything seems against him, is what truly defines him as a hero. Spider Man's strength lies not only in his powers, but in his unwavering commitment to protect others, even at great personal cost. Fact 64. Throughout his long history, Spider Man has had a series of iconic moments in popular media. One of the most notable is his appearance in the animated series Spider Man, the animated series, which aired from 1994 to 1998. The show introduced many fans to Spider Man's world, including his rogues gallery of villains and complex personal life. It also explored Spider Man's relationships with other superheroes in the Marvel Universe, including the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. This series helped cement Spider Man as one of the most beloved characters in superhero animation and was a major influence on future adaptations. Fact 65. The character of Spider Man is known for his intelligence, often using his scientific knowledge to create gadgets and solve problems. Peter Parker is not just a superhero, he's also a gifted inventor. From his web shooters to various other pieces of technology, Peter has used his brilliant mind to develop tools that aid in his crime fighting efforts. His scientific expertise is a key part of what makes him unique in the superhero world, as he is able to outthink his enemies and create solutions to problems that other heroes might struggle to overcome. Fact 66. Spider Man's web swinging is one of his most iconic abilities, but it was also one of the most challenging to animate for the 2002 Spider Man movie. The process of creating realistic web swinging required extensive use of CGI, and the filmmakers had to develop new techniques to depict the fluid motion of Spider Man as he swung through New York City. This groundbreaking visual effect set a new standard for superhero films and has since become synonymous with the character. The web swinging scenes in the movie remain some of the most memorable moments for fans. Fact 67. The villainous character of Venom is one of Spider Man's most complex foes. Originally introduced as an alien symbiote in The Amazing Spider Man, number 252, Venom bonds with Eddie Brock, a disgraced journalist who shares a deep resentment toward Spider Man. The combination of Brock's hatred and the symbiote's powers creates an extremely dangerous enemy, one who possesses all of Spider Man's abilities, but without the moral restraint. Venom's character has evolved over time, and he has often shifted between being Spider Man's antagonist and an anti hero, showcasing the complexities of identity and revenge. Fact 68. Spider Man's first appearance in a Marvel crossover event came in Avengers number 1, where he was invited to join the team by Iron Man. At the time, Spider Man was a solo hero, operating mostly on the streets of New York City, but his inclusion in the Avengers showcased his growing importance in the Marvel Universe. Although Spider Man was initially hesitant to join the team, he quickly proved his worth with his intelligence, quick thinking, and determination. His time with the Avengers allowed him to grow as a hero and form valuable relationships with other members of the team. Fact 69. The storyline Spider Man. The other explores the idea of Spider Man's evolution and transformation. This 2005 event focuses on Peter Parker's struggle with his own mortality, as he faces a near death experience and learns more about the mystical aspects of his powers. The event explores Peter's connection to the greater web of life and his role in the universe. The other marked a significant turning point for Spider Man as he gained new abilities and a deeper understanding of his powers, all while confronting his own fears and doubts about his purpose as a hero. Fact 70. One of the defining features of Spider Man's story is his unwavering sense of responsibility. After the death of his Uncle Ben, Peter Parker made a vow to never shirk his duty as Spider Man, no matter the cost. This sense of responsibility extends beyond just his superhero life. It affects his personal relationships, his career, and even his social interactions. Spider Man's constant struggle to balance his personal life with his heroic duties is what makes him one of the most relatable and enduring characters in comic book history. Fact 71. Spider Man's powers come with great responsibility, but they also come with a constant personal struggle. One of the most challenging aspects of being Spider Man is maintaining a normal life while balancing his duties as a superhero. Peter Parker constantly faces difficult choices, whether to save a loved one or stop a villain, or how to keep his secret identity hidden while still being there for his friends and family. These internal conflicts make Spider Man one of the most emotionally complex superheroes, reflecting the universal struggle between personal desires and greater responsibility. Fact 72. One of Spider Man's most unique abilities is his spider sense, which allows him to detect danger before it happens. This heightened awareness is more than just a physical sense. It's almost like a sixth sense that warns Peter of imminent threats. The spider sense has been essential in helping him dodge attacks and avoid harm, but it's not always perfect. In some situations, it can be overwhelmed or confused, adding an element of vulnerability to Spider Man's otherwise near precognitive powers. Despite this, the spider sense is one of the key aspects of Spider Man's superhero toolkit. Fact 73. Throughout the years, Spider Man has become one of the most iconic superheroes in comic book history, not just because of his powers, but because of his relatability. Peter Parker's struggles with identity, relationships, and personal challenges mirror those of many readers, making Spider Man one of the most human characters in Marvel Comics. His constant balancing act between being a superhero and a regular person is what has allowed Spider Man to resonate with audiences for decades. This connection has made Spider Man more than just a superhero. He is a symbol of perseverance and resilience in the face of adversity. Fact 74. The character of Spider Man has been reinterpreted and reimagined in numerous ways over the years, but one of the most significant reinterpretations came with the character of Miles Morales. Introduced in 2011 in Ultimate Fallout number 6, Miles was a teenager who, after Peter Parker's death in the Ultimate Universe, became the new Spider Man. Miles's origin story, his struggles with identity, and his unique abilities have made him an important and beloved character in the Spider Man mythos. His introduction was a groundbreaking moment for inclusivity in superhero comics, and he continues to inspire new generations of fans. Fact 75. Spider Man's suit has undergone many changes over the years, but perhaps the most notable transformation came in The Amazing Spider Man, year 252, when Peter Parker first donned the black symbiote suit. The suit, which was later revealed to be an alien symbiote, bonded with Peter and enhanced his strength, but also made him more aggressive. The black suit's design was a significant departure from the classic red and blue, featuring a sleek black color with a large white spider symbol across the chest. The suit's influence would lead to the creation of Venom, one of Spider Man's most formidable foes. Fact 76. Spider Man's first appearance in live action cinema occurred in 2002 when Sam Raimi's Spider Man film hit theaters, starring Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. The film was a major success, grossing over $800 million worldwide, and became the first superhero film to gross over $100 million in its opening weekend. Spider Man 2002 was a pivotal moment in superhero cinema as it helped launch the modern wave of superhero films. Tobey Maguire's portrayal of Peter Parker remains iconic for many fans, and the film's success paved the way for future adaptations and a new era of superhero blockbusters. Fact 77. In 2018, Spider Man Into the Spider-Verse revolutionized superhero animation with its unique visual style and story. The film explored the multiverse concept, introducing viewers to different versions of Spider Man from alternate dimensions, including Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Man 2099. The film's innovative animation technique, which combined 2D and 3D elements, made it a groundbreaking work of art. Into the Spider-Verse not only captured the heart of Spider-Man fans, but also introduced a new generation to the character's legacy, winning several awards, including the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Fact 78. Spider-Man's first encounter with the villainous Dr. Octopus was in The Amazing Spider-Man number 3, which introduced the character as one of Spider-Man's most dangerous foes. Dr. Octopus, also known as Otto Octavius, is a brilliant scientist who becomes a criminal mastermind after an accident leaves him with mechanical tentacles. These tentacles grant him enhanced strength and agility, making him a formidable adversary for Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus's intelligence, combined with his new physical capabilities, makes him one of Spider-Man's most challenging foes, often forcing Peter to rely on his wit and resourcefulness to defeat him. Fact 79. In 2008, Spider Man faced one of his most personal and emotionally charged battles in the storyline The Other, Evolve or Die. This event explored the idea of Spider Man's evolution as Peter faced a deadly threat that pushed him to the brink of death. During this event, Peter's body was transformed and he gained new abilities, including the ability to heal rapidly and enhanced senses. The other explored themes of rebirth and transformation, showing how Spider Man's journey is not just physical, but also deeply spiritual. It marked a significant turning point in Spider Man's character development. Fact 80. The iconic phrase, with great power comes great responsibility, has become synonymous with Spider Man, but its origins are rooted in the tragic death of Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. After Peter failed to stop a criminal who later killed Uncle Ben, he realized the true weight of his powers. This lesson became the cornerstone of his heroism, driving Peter to use his abilities for good. The phrase has become one of the most recognizable in comic book history, serving as a reminder that every power comes with consequences, and with those consequences, a moral duty to protect others. Fact 81. One of Spider Man's most defining traits is his ability to keep going, no matter the odds. Despite facing incredible challenges, both personal and professional, Peter Parker never gives up on his responsibilities as Spider Man. Whether it's dealing with the death of loved ones or the constant threat of villains, Peter's resilience and determination have helped him overcome adversity time and time again. This drive to keep fighting, even when it seems like there's no hope left, is one of the reasons why Spider Man is considered one of the most enduring and relatable superheroes in comic book history. Fact 82. Spider Man's friendship with Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, is one of the most iconic relationships in Marvel Comics. The two superheroes first met in The Amazing Spider Man #1 when Spider Man fought the Fantastic Four. Though initially an adversary, Spider Man and the Human Torch quickly became close allies. Their relationship has been marked by friendly rivalry, mutual respect, and lots of playful banter. The Human Torch's carefree, confident attitude often contrasts with Peter's more serious nature, but together they make a formidable team. Their friendship is one of the most enduring and fun dynamics in the Marvel Universe. Fact 83. Spider Man's web shooters are a symbol of his genius and creativity. Unlike many other superheroes who rely on natural powers or external gadgets, Spider Man's web shooters are a product of his own invention. Peter Parker, a gifted scientist, designed and built the web shooters himself, using his knowledge of mechanics and chemistry. The webbing is incredibly versatile, allowing Peter to swing from buildings, create shields, and restrain enemies. The web shooters are not just tools, they represent Peter's ingenuity and his ability to use his intellect to enhance his powers and fight crime more effectively. Fact 84. Spider Man has been a member of several superhero teams over the years, including the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Although he initially worked solo, Spider Man's experience with teams has helped him grow as a hero. His time with the Avengers allowed him to work alongside some of the greatest heroes in the Marvel Universe, including Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Spider Man's involvement with these teams helped him develop not only his combat skills, but also his understanding of teamwork, responsibility, and sacrifice, expanding his role as a hero beyond New York City. Fact 85. One of Spider Man's greatest tragedies occurred in The Amazing Spider-Man number 121 when his girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, was killed by the Green Goblin. This event marked a turning point in Spider-Man's life as it represented the ultimate personal loss and the dangers of his double life. The death of Gwen Stacy was not only heartbreaking for Peter, but also for readers, as it shattered the illusion that Spider Man's loved ones would always be safe. Gwen's death is often considered one of the most impactful moments in Spider Man's history, shaping his character for years to come. Fact 86: Spider Man's ability to sense danger, known as his spider sense, is one of his most iconic powers. This heightened sense allows Peter Parker to react quickly to threats, often giving him the advantage in combat. His spider sense is constantly alert, detecting any potential danger within his vicinity. While it doesn't always provide precise details, it serves as an invaluable tool for Spider Man, helping him avoid attacks, anticipate enemy movements, and stay one step ahead of his foes. This ability, combined with his agility, makes Spider Man one of the most dangerous and unpredictable heroes in the Marvel Universe. Fact 87: The character of Spider Man has been reimagined in countless versions over the years, with one of the most famous being Spider Man 2099. Introduced in 1992, Spider Man 2099, aka Miguel O'Hara, hails from a dystopian future in the year 2099. This version of Spider Man is different from Peter Parker in many ways, including his enhanced abilities and his high tech suit. Despite these differences, Miguel shares the same core principles as Peter, including a commitment to justice and responsibility. Spider Man 2099's introduction helped expand the Spider-Verse, showing that the mantle of Spider Man could be worn by many across time. Fact 88: Spider Man has often faced some of the most challenging villains in the Marvel Universe, and one of his most dangerous foes is Dr. Octopus. First appearing in The Amazing Spider Man number 3, Dr. Octopus, also known as Otto Octavius, is a brilliant scientist who is transformed into a villain after a lab accident fuses mechanical tentacles to his body. These tentacles give him superhuman strength and agility, making him a formidable opponent for Spider Man. Dr. Octopus has been one of Spider Man's most consistent adversaries, often challenging Peter not just physically, but intellectually as well. Fact 89: Spider Man's first encounter with the villain Sandman, introduced in The Amazing Spider Man number 4, was a defining moment in his early career. Flint Marko, aka Sandman, can transform his body into sand, allowing him to change shape, grow to enormous sizes, and even become intangible. His ability to manipulate his form made him one of Spider Man's most difficult adversaries, as conventional attacks couldn't hurt him. Over time, Sandman has evolved from a common criminal to a more sympathetic character, showing that even Spider Man's enemies have depth and complexity, much like the hero himself. Fact 90: One of Spider Man's most important mentors is Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man. The two first met during the Civil War storyline, where Peter was torn between supporting Iron Man's pro registration stance and standing up for his own beliefs. Over time, Tony Stark became a key figure in Spider Man's development, offering guidance, resources, and a new suit, the Iron Spider. Despite their differences, Peter and Tony developed a deep bond, with Tony serving as a father figure to Peter. Their relationship is one of the most significant in Spider Man's journey, shaping him both as a hero and as a person. Fact 91: Spider Man's secret identity has always been a source of tension in his life. While his superhero persona is adored by the public, Peter Parker's personal life is constantly at risk due to his hidden identity. Over the years, Peter has faced immense pressure to keep his secret, fearing for the safety of his loved ones. His internal struggle between his role as Spider Man and his desire to lead a normal life has shaped much of his character. The dual identity of Peter Parker continues to be one of the most significant and relatable aspects of Spider Man's story. Fact 92: the symbiote suit that would later bond with Eddie Brock to become Venom made its first appearance in The Amazing Spider Man, year 252, during the Alien costume storyline. This suit, which Peter discovers during the Secret Wars event, initially enhances his abilities, giving him increased strength and agility. However, the symbiote begins to influence Peter's personality, making him more aggressive and reckless. Peter eventually rejects the symbiote, realizing the danger it posed. The symbiote later bonds with Eddie Brock, creating Venom, one of Spider Man's most dangerous and complex foes. Fact 93: one of the most famous storylines in Spider Man's history is the death of John DeWolf, a crime drama that first appeared in the Spectacular Spider Man, circa 1077 circa 110. The story follows Spider Man's investigation into the murder of John DeWolf, the police captain of New York City. The plot focuses on Spider Man's attempts to solve the case, showcasing his detective skills and moral compass. The story was well received by critics and remains one of the most memorable and mature story arcs in Spider Man's long history, highlighting his ability to handle complex, real world issues beyond typical superhero battles. Fact 94: Spider Man's ability to heal rapidly from injuries is a significant aspect of his powers. While not invulnerable, Spider Man's body heals at an accelerated rate, allowing him to recover from wounds more quickly than ordinary humans. This enhanced healing factor helps him survive some of the most brutal encounters with his villains. However, his healing abilities have their limits, and serious injuries, such as broken bones or deep cuts, can still take their toll. Despite his rapid recovery, Spider Man's vulnerabilities, like any hero, remind us that even the strongest heroes are not immune to harm. Fact 95: in 2016, Spider Man Homecoming marked a new chapter for the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker. The film introduced a younger, more relatable version of Peter, one who was still in high school and learning the ropes of being a superhero. This version of Spider Man, closely connected to the larger MCU, gave fans a fresh take on the character while retaining the charm and youthful energy that made him beloved. Homecoming also introduced Michael Keaton as the Vulture, who quickly became one of Spider Man's most memorable movie villains. Fact 96: Spider Man's sense of responsibility is not just a moral guiding principle, but a constant weight on his shoulders. From the moment Peter Parker first put on the suit, he vowed to use his powers for good, a promise rooted in the tragic death of his Uncle Ben. This burden of responsibility often leads Peter to make difficult choices, such as putting the safety of his loved ones at risk to protect others. His constant struggle between maintaining his secret identity and fulfilling his duty as a hero is one of the key elements that makes Spider Man relatable and enduring. Fact 97: Spider Man has faced numerous challenges and enemies, but some of his most dangerous and intelligent foes are the Sinister Six. This team of supervillains, first assembled in The Amazing Spider Man number 1, includes some of Spider Man's most formidable adversaries, such as Dr. Octopus, the Vulture, Sandman, Mysterio, Craven the Hunter, and Electro. The Sinister Six was created with the intent of taking down Spider Man as a team, combining their powers and intellect to overwhelm the web slinger. The team has faced off against Spider Man several times, and their combined efforts have pushed him to his limits. Fact 98. One of Spider Man's most important early relationships was with his high school friend Harry Osborn. Harry, the son of Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, has had a complicated relationship with Peter over the years. Despite being best friends, Harry's eventual transformation into the second Green Goblin caused a rift between the two. Their friendship has been tested by betrayal, misunderstanding, and the constant strain of their shared connection to the Green Goblin legacy. Harry's story is one of tragic potential as he struggles with his identity and the legacy of his father while trying to live up to Peter's example. Fact 99. In 2011, Ultimate Fallout introduced the death of Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe, making room for the introduction of Miles Morales as the new Spider Man. Miles, a young, biracial teenager, gains the powers of Spider Man after being bitten by a genetically altered spider. His origin story is similar to Peter's, but his journey as Spider Man is distinct, focusing on his struggles to balance his new responsibilities with his personal life. Miles's debut as Spider Man marked a new era for the character, representing a fresh and diverse perspective on the beloved superhero. Fact 100. Spider Man has been a key member of many superhero teams, including the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the New Avengers. His membership in these teams has helped him grow as a hero and has allowed him to form strong bonds with other superheroes. One of Spider Man's most notable moments as an Avenger came during the Civil War storyline when he initially sided with Iron Man and the pro registration forces. However, after witnessing the consequences of the law, Peter switched allegiances, realizing that his personal beliefs and the safety of his loved ones were more important than blindly following authority. Fact 101. Spider Man's first major battle with the Kingpin, one of his most dangerous criminal foes, occurred in The Amazing Spider Man The Tris 50. Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin, is a ruthless crime lord who controls much of New York City's underworld. Despite his immense wealth and influence, Kingpin's physical prowess and intelligence make him a formidable opponent for Spider Man. Their battles have been intense, with Kingpin's mastery of manipulation and strategy often testing Peter's moral compass, forcing him to question the cost of justice in a city rife with crime and corruption. Fact 102. The Green Goblin's tragic legacy has been a defining part of Spider Man's story, especially after the death of Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider Man 121. Norman Osborn's obsession with destroying Spider Man and his family ultimately led to Gwen's death, one of the darkest moments in Spider Man's history. This act not only cemented the Green Goblin as one of Spider Man's greatest villains, but also shaped Peter's evolution as a hero. The loss of Gwen forced Peter to confront the brutal consequences of his dual life, deepening his sense of responsibility and loss. Fact 103. Spider Man's first appearance in the Ultimate Universe, a parallel reality in Marvel Comics, was in Ultimate Fallout 36 in 2011. In this version, Peter Parker dies while fighting the Green Goblin, and the mantle of Spider Man is taken up by Miles Morales. Miles, a young teenager with unique powers, becomes a fresh face for the Spider Man legacy. The Ultimate Spider Man storyline explored new dynamics in Peter's legacy, introducing fans to Miles's more diverse and youthful portrayal of the character. Miles quickly became a fan favorite, representing a new generation of Spider Man. Fact 104: the story arc The Night Gwen Stacy Died, which took place in The Amazing Spider Man 121 to 122, is one of the most significant and emotional in Spider Man's history. In this arc, the Green Goblin kidnaps Gwen Stacy and forces Spider Man into a fatal choice. Despite Peter's best efforts to save Gwen, the Goblin's actions lead to her tragic death. This event shattered Peter emotionally and marked a turning point in his life, reinforcing his belief that being Spider Man comes with great personal cost and that his loved ones would always be at risk. Fact 105: one of Spider Man's most recognizable traits is his incredible intellect. As Peter Parker, he is a brilliant student with a deep knowledge of science, particularly in the fields of physics and chemistry. His intellect not only allows him to create his web shooters, but also helps him solve complex problems while fighting villains. Whether he's inventing new gadgets, discovering a villain's weakness, or engineering a way to escape danger, Peter's scientific knowledge gives him an edge over many foes who rely on brute strength alone, proving that his mind is just as vital as his physical powers. Fact 106: the relationship between Spider Man and the villain Mysterio is one of deception and manipulation. Mysterio, also known as Quentin Beck, is a master of illusion and special effects, using his talents to create terrifying and convincing illusions that deceive Spider Man and the public. Mysterio first appeared in The Amazing Spider Man The Muture 13 and quickly became a thorn in Spider Man's side, challenging Peter to not just fight physically, but also to see through the illusions Beck created. Mysterio's psychological tactics made him a unique and dangerous adversary in Spider Man's gallery of foes. Fact 107: the Superior Spider Man storyline, which ran from The Amazing Spider Man for 698 to 7 such, introduced a major twist. Dr. Octopus swapped bodies with Peter Parker, leading to Otto Octavius becoming the new Spider Man. While in Peter's body, Dr. Octopus used his intellect and ruthless attitude to improve Spider Man's crime fighting methods, making him more aggressive and strategic. The storyline explored themes of identity, redemption, and the nature of heroism, as Otto, despite his villainous past, tried to prove that he could be a better Spider Man than Peter ever was. Peter ultimately returned, but not without facing new moral questions. Fact 108: Spider Man's costume, originally designed by Steve Ditko, has undergone several changes throughout his long history. The original red and blue suit became one of the most recognizable superhero costumes of all time. Later, Spider Man would wear alternate versions, including the black suit, which was eventually revealed to be an alien symbiote that would bond with Eddie Brock to become Venom. More recently, Spider Man has donned the Iron Spider suit, designed by Tony Stark, which includes mechanical spider legs and advanced technology. Each iteration of the suit reflects different stages of Peter Parker's evolution as a hero. Fact 109: one of Spider Man's most memorable cinematic moments came in Spider Man 2, 2004, where Peter Parker struggles with his dual identity and the burden of being Spider Man. The film, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Tobey Maguire, explores Peter's internal conflict as he tries to balance his responsibilities as a student, a friend, and a superhero. Spider Man faces one of his most personal challenges in the form of Dr. Octopus, whose tragic backstory mirrors Peter's own struggles. Spider Man 2 is widely considered one of the best superhero films ever made and remains a fan favorite. Fact 110: Spider Man's webbing, which he designed himself, is made from a special chemical formula that Peter Parker invented. The webbing is incredibly strong yet lightweight, allowing Peter to swing between buildings, create shields, and restrain enemies. The web shooters are one of Spider Man's most iconic gadgets, and they represent his ingenuity as a scientist. Over the years, Spider Man has developed various types of webbing for different situations, from webbing that can withstand extreme heat to webbing that can absorb impacts. His web shooters are a testament to Peter's creativity and scientific brilliance, distinguishing him from many other superheroes. Fact 111: Spider Man's first appearance in the Ultimate Universe, Ultimate Fallout number 6, marks a key moment in the multiverse where Peter Parker dies while fighting the Green Goblin. This tragic event allows Miles Morales, a young teenager with spider like powers, to take on the mantle of Spider Man. Miles's character introduced a new era for Spider-Man, symbolizing the evolution of the hero's legacy with a focus on diversity and modernity. Miles's journey as the new Spider-Man would soon become just as impactful as Peter's, with his own series and significant appearances in films, including Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Fact 112: Spider Man's first real team up with the Fantastic Four occurred in The Amazing Spider Man number 1 when he faced off against the villainous Chameleon. Though initially seen as an adversary, Spider Man was invited to join the Fantastic Four after his victory, though he soon opted to remain a solo hero. Despite that, Spider Man's interactions with the team have been significant over the years. His quick wit and adaptability made him an excellent addition to the team during his occasional team ups, and his friendship with members like Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, continues to be a fan favorite dynamic. Fact 113: One of the most iconic and heartbreaking moments in Spider Man's history is the death of Uncle Ben, which occurs in Amazing Fantasy the Munger 15, marking the beginning of Peter Parker's journey as Spider Man. Uncle Ben's death is a direct consequence of Peter's early failure to stop a criminal, which instilled in him the famous lesson: with great power comes great responsibility. This pivotal moment shaped Peter's character, fueling his sense of guilt and responsibility for every action he takes as Spider Man. Uncle Ben's influence on Peter remains a driving force throughout Spider Man's entire journey. Fact 114: Spider Man's first encounter with the villain Kraven, the hunter, occurred in The Amazing Spider Man just year 15. Kraven, a skilled and ruthless hunter, considers Spider Man his ultimate prey. Their first battle set the tone for their ongoing rivalry, with Kraven seeking to prove himself as the superior hunter by capturing and defeating Spider Man. Kraven's obsession with proving his worth often leads to morally complex situations, making him one of Spider Man's most dangerous and unpredictable enemies. His later storyline, Kraven's Last Hunt, is one of the most iconic and dark story arcs in Spider Man's history. Fact 115: The multiverse concept in Spider Man's world was expanded in the Spider-Verse event, where several versions of Spider Man from different universes came together to battle the villain Morlun and his family, the Inheritors. The event introduced fans to Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man 2099, and other alternate versions of Spider Man, showing the versatility of the character across different timelines. This storyline, which spanned multiple comics, became a massive hit and influenced the 2018 animated film Spider Man Into the Spider Verse. The success of Spider Verse has cemented Spider Man as a multiversal hero capable of inspiring countless variations across dimensions. Fact 116: Spider Man's first appearance in a crossover event came in the Avengers Number 1, where he was invited to join the team by Iron Man. Though initially hesitant, Spider Man eventually became a key member of the Avengers. His time with the team helped him grow both as a hero and as an individual. Working alongside legendary heroes like Captain America and Thor, Spider Man learned the value of teamwork and sacrifice, broadening his understanding of what it truly means to be a hero. His inclusion in the Avengers also marked a significant shift in Spider Man's role within the Marvel Universe. Fact 117: Spider Man has had his fair share of difficult and tragic losses, but one of the most heart wrenching moments was when his beloved Aunt May was shot in The Amazing Spider Man 400. Aunt May had always been a guiding force in Peter's life, providing love and support after the death of his parents. After Peter's unmasking during Civil War, Aunt May became a target for criminals. Her near death experience was a turning point for Peter, forcing him to reassess the risks of being Spider Man and the personal cost of his heroic choices. Fact 118: In The Amazing Spider Man, number 14, Spider Man's first encounter with the Vulture took place, marking the debut of one of his most iconic villains. The Vulture, whose real name is Adrian Toomes, is an aging inventor who uses a specialized suit with mechanical wings to fly and commit crimes. The Vulture's debut as a villain set the stage for the many aerial battles Spider Man would face in his career. The character has become a recurring foe, and his ongoing battles with Spider Man have demonstrated both the hero's ability to overcome challenges and his determination to protect New York City. Fact 119: Spider Man's spider sense is one of his most essential abilities, allowing him to detect danger before it happens. This heightened sense of awareness helps Spider Man react quickly to threats, giving him the edge in battle. It also provides him with a unique ability to dodge attacks, anticipate movements, and outsmart his enemies. However, Spider Man's spider sense is not foolproof. It can be overwhelmed, or sometimes it doesn't provide enough detail to make precise decisions. Despite this, the spider sense remains one of the most valuable tools in Spider Man's arsenal, often saving him from dangerous situations. Fact 120: In 1990, Spider Man's animated series, Spider Man, the animated series, became a cultural phenomenon. The show introduced Spider Man to a new generation of fans and helped bring the character into mainstream media. The series was praised for its faithful adaptation of Spider Man's iconic storylines and for introducing characters such as Venom and the Green Goblin to a wider audience. The show's success led to multiple seasons and is still considered one of the best superhero animated series ever made, cementing Spider Man as a beloved figure in both the comic and television worlds. Fact 121: One of Spider Man's most powerful abilities is his spider like strength. Though not as strong as some other superheroes like the Hulk, Spider Man's strength is formidable. He can lift cars, defeat powerful foes, and overpower his enemies with his enhanced physical capabilities. His strength is also enhanced by his agility, making him an incredibly dynamic and difficult opponent in battle. His strength, combined with his scientific intellect and quick reflexes, makes Spider Man a well rounded and resourceful hero who is able to face off against a wide variety of villains. Fact 122. In 2008, Spider Man, the animated series, returned with a new film, Spider Man, the New Animated Series. The movie was a direct continuation of the 1990s series, featuring a darker, more mature version of the character. This series introduced Peter Parker's world to a new audience, blending traditional animation with CGI effects to create a unique visual style. The movie was well received by fans and critics alike for its bold approach to Spider Man's story, pushing the boundaries of what could be done in superhero animation. Fact 123. One of the most dramatic moments in Spider Man's career occurred in the Clone Saga storyline, where it was revealed that Peter Parker might not be the original Spider Man. This shocking revelation led to the introduction of Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter who took on the mantle of Spider Man for a brief period. The saga raised questions about identity, legacy, and the true meaning of being a hero. Although the saga was controversial, it remains one of the most memorable and thought provoking arcs in Spider Man's history. Fact 124. Spider Man's first encounter with the villain Electro occurred in the Amazing Spider Man Isker 9. Electro, aka Max Dillon, is a man who gains the ability to control electricity after being struck by lightning while working on a power line. His powers make him a formidable adversary for Spider Man, who has to rely on his intellect and quick thinking to defeat Electro. The battle between Spider Man and Electro is one of the many classic clashes between hero and villain, showcasing Peter's ability to overcome even the most dangerous of threats with courage and resourcefulness. Fact 125. Spider Man's ability to sense danger, known as his spider sense, is a key part of his powers. This heightened sense alerts Peter Parker to imminent threats, allowing him to react quickly and avoid harm. The spider sense works in a similar way to a sixth sense, providing Peter with an almost precognitive ability to detect danger. While it doesn't always provide specific details, it is an invaluable tool in his crime fighting efforts, giving him an edge in dangerous situations and allowing him to react faster than most opponents can strike. Fact 126. One of Spider Man's most significant achievements came in the Civil War storyline, where he was forced to reveal his secret identity to the public. In an effort to comply with the Superhero Registration Act, Peter unmasked himself at a press conference, an act that had major consequences. The revelation of his identity put his loved ones in danger, leading to a tragic incident involving Aunt May. This event forced Peter to confront the reality of being Spider Man and the personal risks that come with his dual life. Fact 127. In 2012, The Amazing Spider Man rebooted the franchise with Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker. The film explored a darker, more introspective version of Peter, focusing on his early years as Spider Man and his relationship with his parents. The reboot also introduced the Lizard, one of Spider Man's most tragic villains, as the antagonist. Though the Amazing Spider Man films received mixed reviews, they helped bring Spider Man back to the big screen, reinvigorating interest in the character and preparing the way for his eventual inclusion in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fact 128. Spider Man's costume is one of the most recognizable superhero outfits in comic book history. Designed by Steve Ditko, the red and blue suit features a distinctive web pattern and a large spider symbol on the chest. Over the years, the suit has undergone several changes, from the black symbiote suit to the more modern Iron Spider suit. Despite these variations, the classic red and blue costume remains the most iconic, representing Spider Man's roots and his commitment to fighting crime and protecting the people of New York City. Fact 129: the Green Goblin's legacy has had a lasting impact on Spider Man, particularly in the case of Harry Osborn, Norman's son. Harry, who was initially one of Peter Parker's closest friends, eventually becomes the second Green Goblin. His transformation into a villain is driven by his anger, jealousy, and the influence of his father's legacy. Harry's fall from grace and eventual death marked one of the most tragic storylines in Spider Man's life, as Peter struggled with the loss of his friend and the consequences of their shared past. Fact 130: Spider Man's popularity has transcended the comic book page, making him a global cultural icon. He has appeared in numerous films, television shows, and video games, each iteration bringing a new generation of fans to the character. Spider Man's status as a beloved superhero is due in part to his relatability, as he deals with personal issues and struggles with responsibility, just like the average person. His adventures in the Marvel Universe have captivated fans for decades, and his ongoing appeal proves that Spider Man is more than just a superhero. He is a symbol of resilience and hope. Fact 131: Spider Man's relationship with J. Jonah Jameson, the fiery editor of the Daily Bugle, has always been complex and often antagonistic. Jameson has long been one of Spider Man's harshest critics, frequently publishing negative stories about the web slinger. His disdain for Spider Man stems from a combination of personal bias and a desire for sensational headlines. Despite this, Peter Parker has worked for Jameson as a photographer, using the job as a cover for his secret identity. Over time, Jameson's attitude has softened slightly, but the ongoing tension between the two remains one of Spider Man's most iconic relationships. Fact 132: Spider Man's encounter with the villainous Kingpin, one of the most powerful crime lords in the Marvel Universe, marked a significant chapter in his career. First introduced in The Amazing Spider Man Visitor 50, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, is a highly intelligent, ruthless villain who controls much of New York's criminal underworld. Despite his lack of superhuman abilities, Kingpin's strength, wealth, and influence make him a formidable foe. His battles with Spider Man have been both physical and psychological, testing Peter's limits in terms of strategy, intelligence, and perseverance. Fact 133: Spider Man's first appearance in the animated world came with Spider Man, the animated series, which aired from 1994 to 1998. The series, featuring Christopher Daniel Barnes as the voice of Peter Parker, was a massive success and helped bring Spider Man into the mainstream. The show followed Spider Man's adventures as he faced a host of villains and also delved deeper into his personal struggles, including his relationship with Aunt May, Mary Jane, and his dual identity. The series introduced many fans to Spider Man's world, including some of his most famous villains, and remains a beloved adaptation of the hero. Fact 134: Spider Man's agility, combined with his wall crawling ability, makes him one of the most agile superheroes in the Marvel Universe. His enhanced flexibility and reflexes allow him to perform acrobatic feats such as flipping, twisting, and dodging attacks with ease. These abilities not only help him in combat, but also enable him to navigate New York City with remarkable speed. Spider Man's agility is a key element in his fighting style, allowing him to outmaneuver and outsmart his opponents, whether he's battling on the streets or swinging from skyscrapers. Fact 135: one of Spider Man's most notable abilities is his ability to invent and modify gadgets, often using his scientific expertise to gain an advantage over his foes. His web shooters are perhaps his most iconic invention, allowing him to swing between buildings, capture enemies, and create various web based tools. Peter Parker's genius extends beyond his web shooters. He has crafted gadgets for a variety of purposes, including webbing with special properties, tracking devices, and more. His ingenuity has allowed him to solve problems that brute force alone couldn't, showcasing that his intellect is just as vital as his strength. Fact 136: in 1992, Spider Man's animated series introduced an iconic version of Venom, voiced by Hank Azaria. Venom, the symbiote that bonds with Eddie Brock, was one of Spider Man's most dangerous and personal enemies. The symbiote gave Eddie Brock all of Spider Man's abilities, but without the same moral code, making him a terrifying threat. The Venom storyline in Spider Man, the animated series, expanded on the character's backstory, exploring Eddie's jealousy and hatred of Peter Parker. This version of Venom became a fan favorite, and his animated debut helped solidify his place as one of Spider Man's most memorable foes. Fact 137: Spider Man's webbing is a unique and highly versatile tool, allowing him to create different types of webs for different purposes. From simple web lines to complex traps and shields, the webbing serves a variety of functions. Peter Parker invented the webbing himself, combining his knowledge of chemistry and physics. Over time, Spider Man has upgraded his web shooters to include different types of webbing, including webbing with enhanced strength, webbing that can withstand extreme temperatures, and webbing designed for stealth. The adaptability of his webs is a key element of Spider Man's effectiveness in combat and crime fighting. Fact 138: Spider Man's first encounter with the villainous Mysterio came in The Amazing Spider Man, the Chapter 13. Mysterio, aka Quentin Beck, is a master of illusion and special effects, using his talents to create terrifying and convincing illusions that deceive Spider Man and others. Unlike most of Spider Man's foes, Mysterio doesn't rely on physical strength or powers. Instead, he uses his intellect and technological gadgets to manipulate reality. This makes him one of Spider Man's most psychologically complex villains, as Peter must not only fight physical threats, but also face the challenge of distinguishing reality from illusion. Fact 139: Spider Man's first battle with the villain Sandman occurred in The Amazing Spider Man number 4, when Flint Marko, a small time crook, transformed into Sandman after an accident. Sandman's ability to transform his body into sand, giving him superhuman strength and the ability to reshape himself, made him one of Spider Man's most formidable foes. Over time, Sandman has become more of an anti hero, especially after his redemption arc in the Spider Man films. His complex relationship with Spider Man has shown that even the most dangerous villains have the capacity for change, making Sandman one of the most nuanced characters in Spider Man's Rogues Gallery. Fact 140: one of Spider Man's most iconic storylines is The Other, Evolve or Die, which ran in 2005. This event saw Peter Parker face one of his most life threatening challenges yet, as he was pushed to the brink of death by a mystical force. The storyline explored themes of death, transformation, and rebirth, as Peter's body was altered to give him new powers and abilities. The other marked a significant shift in Spider Man's powers and his understanding of his place in the world. It also introduced new mystical elements to his character, expanding the scope of Spider Man's abilities. Fact 141: Spider Man's first significant encounter with the villain Venom occurred in The Amazing Spider Man the Lecture 300. Venom, are a symbiote that bonds with Eddie Brock, combines Spider Man's powers with a desire for vengeance. The creation of Venom marked a pivotal moment in Spider Man's history as he faced a powerful enemy who knew all his moves and had none of his moral restraint. Venom's personal vendetta against Spider Man, due to Eddie's resentment of Peter, made him one of the most dangerous and emotionally charged adversaries Spider Man has ever faced, testing Peter's sense of responsibility to its limits. Fact 142: The Clone Saga introduced Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker who became the Scarlet Spider. The storyline, which ran through multiple Spider Man titles in the 1990s, created a major controversy in Spider Man's mythos. The saga's twist suggested that Peter might not be the original Spider Man, but rather a clone created by the villainous Jackal. Ben Reilly took on the Scarlet Spider persona for a period, embodying a new version of Spider Man with a different approach to heroism. Though the saga is often criticized for its complexity, it remains a memorable part of Spider Man's history. Fact 143: One of Spider Man's most iconic stories is the return of the Green Goblin, which brought Norman Osborn back after his supposed death. In this storyline, Norman Osborn, the original Green Goblin, is revealed to have survived and returned to terrorize Spider Man. His resurrection forced Peter to confront his past trauma, particularly the death of Gwen Stacy, which had been a direct result of Norman's actions. The return of the Green Goblin solidified Norman as one of Spider Man's most dangerous and tragic villains, as their history together is deeply personal and emotionally charged. Fact 144: Spider Man's first significant battle with Dr. Octopus took place in The Amazing Spider Man the Secret 3. Dr. Octopus, also known as Otto Octavius, was a brilliant scientist who was transformed into a villain after a laboratory accident. His mechanical tentacles, which are controlled by his mind, grant him its incredible strength and agility. In this first encounter, Spider Man had to rely not just on his strength, but on his intellect to defeat the technologically advanced villain. Dr. Octopus's intellect and mastery of his tentacles made him a unique and challenging adversary for Spider Man, setting the stage for many more encounters. Fact 145: In Spider Man 2, 2004, Spider Man faced off against one of his most tragic and iconic foes, Dr. Octopus. Played by Alfred Molina, the film's version of Dr. Octopus was portrayed as a tragic villain whose accident and resulting powers turned him into a destructive force. The film explored themes of loss, redemption, and responsibility, making Dr. Octopus not just a physical threat, but a personal one. His relationship with Peter Parker, both as an adversary and as a former colleague, added depth to their conflict, making it one of the most compelling villain arcs in superhero cinema. Fact 146: Spider Man's infamous Iron Spider suit made its debut in The Amazing Spider Man, February 29. Designed by Tony Stark, this high-tech suit was given to Peter Parker during the Civil War storyline, when Spider-Man was forced to choose between supporting the Superhero Registration Act or opposing it. The Iron Spider suit included mechanical spider legs, enhanced durability, and advanced features that improved Peter's crime fighting capabilities. Although Peter wore the suit for a time, it represented the complex relationship between him and Tony Stark, as well as Peter's struggle to maintain his identity as Spider Man. Fact 147: Spider Man's famous quote, "With great power comes great responsibility," originated from Amazing Fantasy 115, the comic where Spider Man first appeared. The phrase, spoken by Peter's Uncle Ben, encapsulates the core of Spider Man's character, the heavy burden that comes with having extraordinary abilities. This lesson drives Peter Parker throughout his life, reminding him that his powers are meant to protect others, even at great personal cost. The phrase has become one of the most iconic and enduring lines in comic book history, representing the moral compass that guides Spider Man through his many trials. So, the fact 148: one of the most beloved adaptations of Spider Man came with Spider Man Into the Spider-Verse, a 2018 animated film that introduced Miles Morales as the new Spider Man. The film explored the concept of the multiverse, bringing together multiple versions of Spider Man, including the original Peter Parker, Spider-Gwen, and Spider Man 2099. The movie was praised for its groundbreaking animation style, which combined 2D and 3D elements to create a unique, visually stunning experience. The film won several awards, including the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, and cemented Miles Morales as a key figure in the Spider Man legacy. Fact 149: Spider Man's first major appearance in a crossover event came in the Avengers #1, where he was invited to join the team by Iron Man. Though initially hesitant, Peter Parker eventually agreed to join the Avengers, solidifying his place as one of the most important heroes in the Marvel Universe. Despite being a relatively new hero at the time, Spider Man's unique abilities, intelligence, and determination quickly earned him the respect of the Avengers. His time with the team allowed him to grow both as a hero and as a person, forging lasting bonds with other legendary superheroes. Fact 150: Spider Man has faced off against many powerful villains throughout his career, but one of the most personal and enduring is the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. Osborn, the father of Peter's best friend Harry, has caused immeasurable pain and loss in Spider Man's life, especially after the death of Gwen Stacy. Their battles are not just physical, but emotional, as Norman's twisted obsession with destroying Spider Man often puts Peter's loved ones in danger. The Green Goblin represents the ultimate test of Peter's sense of responsibility, as he must protect his loved ones while facing a villain who knows his deepest vulnerabilities. Fact 151: Spider Man's first appearance in a live action film came with Spider Man 2002, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. The film followed Peter's origin story from his transformation into Spider Man after being bitten by a radioactive spider to his first major battle against the Green Goblin. Spider Man was a massive success, grossing over $800 million worldwide. The film's success helped pave the way for the modern superhero film era and cemented Spider Man as one of the most iconic and beloved superheroes of all time. Fact 152: Spider Man's web shooters are not only essential for his crime fighting abilities, but also a symbol of his genius. Peter Parker designed the web shooters himself, using his scientific knowledge to create a device that allows him to swing between buildings, capture criminals, and protect innocent people. The web shooters are an embodiment of Peter's creativity and resourcefulness, as he uses his intellect to complement his superpowers. Over time, Peter has made modifications to the web shooters, incorporating different types of webbing and gadgets to help him in various situations, showcasing his continuous innovation. Fact 153: Spider Man's first team up with the X Men occurred in The Amazing Spider Man number 92, where he joined forces with the mutant heroes to face off against the villainous Kraven the Hunter. This event marked the beginning of Spider Man's regular interactions with the X Men, a group of superheroes who, like Spider Man, struggle with their powers and the responsibilities that come with them. Spider Man's interactions with the X Men have been an important part of his character's development, allowing him to learn from other heroes who face similar challenges and moral dilemmas in their fight for justice. Fact 154: One of Spider Man's most enduring traits is his relatability. Unlike many other superheroes, Peter Parker is not a billionaire, nor does he have godlike powers. He's an ordinary young man with ordinary problems, balancing school, work, and a complicated personal life, all while fighting crime as Spider Man. This relatability has made Spider Man one of the most beloved superheroes in comic book history. Fans have connected with Peter's struggles, seeing themselves in his challenges and finding inspiration in his determination to do good despite the personal sacrifices he must make. Fact 155: Spider Man's first battle with the Vulture, one of his most iconic villains, took place in The Amazing Spider Man number 2. The Vulture, aka Adrian Toomes, is an elderly inventor who uses mechanical wings to fly and commit crimes. His ability to take to the skies and attack Spider Man from above made him one of the most dangerous foes the web slinger had faced at the time. The Vulture's first appearance set the stage for many more aerial battles between the two, and his later appearances would become a defining part of Spider Man's early career. Fact 156: Spider Man's origin story has been retold many times in various forms of media, but it always revolves around the same tragic event: the death of Uncle Ben. In Amazing Fantasy 315, Peter Parker's transformation into Spider Man begins when he is bitten by a radioactive spider, granting him incredible powers. However, it is his failure to stop a criminal that leads to Uncle Ben's death, instilling in Peter the famous lesson: with great power comes great responsibility. This event has shaped Peter's life, driving him to become the hero known as Spider Man and ensuring that he always fights for what's right. Fact 157: Spider Man's first encounter with the villain, the Chameleon, occurred in The Amazing Spider Man number 1, where the Chameleon used his ability to impersonate others to trick Spider Man and other members of the Marvel Universe. The Chameleon is one of Spider Man's earliest foes and remains one of the most dangerous due to his ability to assume anyone's identity. This power allows him to manipulate people and situations to his advantage, making him a formidable adversary for Spider Man. His first appearance marked the beginning of many battles involving deception and disguise, adding a psychological element to Spider Man's crime fighting. Fact 158: In the 1990s, Spider Man became part of the Clone Saga, one of the most controversial and complex storylines in comic book history. This saga introduced Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker, who temporarily took on the mantle of Spider Man. The story arc raised questions about identity and reality, as Peter's place as the original Spider Man was put into doubt. Although the Clone Saga is often criticized for its convoluted plot, it remains a key moment in Spider Man's history, introducing new characters and ideas that would have lasting effects on the Spider Man universe. Fact 159: Spider Man's suit has seen numerous iterations over the years, from his classic red and blue suit to the more recent Iron Spider suit. One of the most notable redesigns was the black symbiote suit, which Peter Parker found during the Secret Wars event in 1984. The suit enhanced his powers, but also influenced his personality, making him more aggressive. Ultimately, Peter rejected the symbiote, which bonded with Eddie Brock to become Venom, one of Spider Man's most iconic and dangerous foes. The black suit remains one of Spider Man's most memorable looks, marking a pivotal moment in his character's evolution. Fact 160: Spider Man's legacy continues to evolve through his various versions in different media. From comic books to animated series, films, and video games, Spider Man has remained a constant presence in pop culture. The character's adaptability has allowed him to resonate with different generations of fans. Spider Man's enduring appeal lies in his relatability, resilience, and moral compass. Whether he's swinging through the streets of New York City or facing off against new threats in alternate universes, Spider Man's legacy is one of growth, responsibility, and the timeless message that anyone can be a hero, no matter their circumstances. Thank you for joining me on this peaceful journey through the world of Spider Man. As we reflect on his many adventures, challenges, and triumphs, may you feel the same resilience and hope that Peter Parker embodies. Remember, no matter the obstacles you face, you have the strength to overcome them. Let the quiet of the night surround you as you drift into restful sleep, knowing that, like Spider Man, you too are capable of facing the challenges that come your way. Good night, dear friend. May your dreams be as inspiring and adventurous as the web slinger himself.